because you mentioned that you've been working in Finland. So we are really interested in what did you observe here in Finland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some interesting findings. Again, it's not that I have researched these, it's all from my field studies, and I can say that I noticed some remarkable differences. And I also spoke with these people, and I think when you interact with people, you find out more than from just, bare statistical research. So as many Finnish people always wanted to know what's behind the concept, and I noticed that they needed time to think. And they also said, we need time to think. This, for instance, doesn't happen in Australia or in New Zealand or Latin America. So Finnish people wanted to think about the concept and the ideas I shared with them. One thing which surprised me, however, in the working style, and particularly in the working style reports, was that women in Finland showed quite unusually low results in kinesthetic feeling mode in their sensory modalities. So we all know that we take information in through hearing, seeing, touching, and feeling. And I knew from results from other countries that women generally have a high feeling mode. That means they have a preference for feeling. Not so in Finland. And that was really interesting. And then I began to think, and I thought, does this mean that they did not allow their feelings to play a big part in their work as compared to women in other countries? Or didn't they have these feelings? But I didn't believe that they didn't have the feelings. I just thought it was a result of socialization. So I had many discussions, and I asked women, because I also asked women in New Zealand and in Australia. And in these discussions, I was told that the reasons for this phenomenon in Finland is that Finnish people, especially women, learn very early on not to show their feelings or to cut them out altogether when they are working or learning. So you are a Finnish woman. Would you say that this is often the case?
Yes, I have to say that this really resonates. And yeah, I feel like, well, for me, it manifested as a huge anxiety. Because I learned that, I remember when I went to school, and because as a kid I was super expressive and almost like a bit of a wild child.
Yeah.
I went to school, and I remember the first feeling I got was that I need to shrink, I need to put all this creativity on hold, and that resulted as anxiety, and that resulted to eating disorders and all these kind of things. And yeah, it's I feel like this generation right now, we are kind of starting to unlearn that.
Yes,
there's a lot of discussion about feelings and how important it is to feel. And it's a
very interesting. Yeah.
Exactly.
And again, as I have seen thousands of profiles, I can generally tell whether this is a profile of a man or a woman. So if we take this distinction. But what we found is that thousands of working style profiles, the feeling component in females is generally stronger than in males. I've seen that everywhere. I mean, when you go from strong preference to non-preference, there is a distinction, no matter what people might say about, new gender things, there is a difference. And now I was wondering how women in Finland deal with these feelings, which they certainly have, and what such a suppression might mean for their health and for their well-being. So I asked and said, well, what are you doing? They said, well, they compensate. and they compensate in another area as well, which both areas are not very healthy for the overall body and brain.
Yeah.
There is another area, particularly of the working styles, but also for older students as well. We found that Finnish women seem to be much more analytic than women in other countries. And that many are so-called, what we call learned analytics, which means they have to work or learn in a more analytic way, maybe by doing that also suppressing their feelings, although their natural inclination would be more working or learning in a holistic way, more feeling-based. So this means most of the time, these women have to think or learn in a way which is not their natural way. And that leads to stress. So when I ask these women how they compensate the suppression of feelings in general and in the analytic and holistic way, I was told they have creative hobbies or do sports. And then I was told some might have even a few drinks to relax.
Just a few. Yeah. This is
because I had been wondering, we know that Finnish people like to drink a lot and it's everywhere. And I was thinking, why?
Yeah.
Maybe, again, this is not scientifically proven, but it's only from observation. And I'm thinking, if these women would be allowed to think and learn and work in their own way, with more creativity to allow to come out, maybe that would change quite a bit.
Yes.
So that's really a big difference I saw. With these findings, it would be worth discussing the outcomes a bit more, and especially as women are now coming into more power, and they certainly need to be allowed to do more things themselves in their own way without restrictions dictated by a certain society.
Yeah, this is so important. And also, like, when we suppress one part of ourselves, we kind of suppress everything else. So it's like, it almost feels like you're driving with a brake on or something like that. And that's how I felt like a long time. And working style analysis just helped me so much to see where is this block, like what is holding us back. So this is super important.
So that's what I can say. These are my findings, again, from all the field studies, and I think they are valuable and worth thinking about.
Yeah, certainly. I'm sure many people can resonate with this one.